some breaking news, some serious news out of Russia right now. An explosion in Russia in the St. Petersburg metro has killed at least 10 people. That's what we know right now. There's the first images we're seeing from that explosion in St. Petersburg, Russia today. As I said, at least 10 people are dead. I want to go to ABC's Alex Marquardt. He's in London with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, George. That's right. We're getting reports of at least 10 dead. That's coming from the state news agency TASS. That happening at the Sanaya Square station in central St. Petersburg. There are also reports from other Russian official news services of a second explosion at the Technological Institute station as well. We've seen grim video and pictures emerging of a destroyed subway car, smoke filling the station. We know that in addition to those killed, many have been wounded. St. Petersburg is Russia's second city. It's the hometown of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who we know is in the city today. There has been no claim of responsibility, but the immediate assumption will fall on Islamic extremists from southern Russia, from the Caucasus. Hundreds of Russians have gone to fight with ISIS in Syria, where, of course, Russia is fighting on the side of the Assad regime. But for now, no sense yet of who or what may be responsible for this.
Right. We know President Putin has been briefed and that he was in the city, but of course he was not affected by this in any way.
Yes, there's no indication right now that he was affected in any way or that he was a target. This appears to have been carried out at these two main stations, but he was not involved as far as we know.
Okay,
George.
Alex Marquardt, thanks very much. An explosion in the subway in St. Petersburg, Russia, at least 10 dead. We're going to stay on top of this all morning long.
Okay, some breaking news just coming into CNN. We are learning of reports of a bombing on the metro in St. Petersburg, Russia. Let's go straight to CNN's Matthew Chance. He's standing by in Moscow. Matthew, what have you been able to piece together?
Hey, Christy. Well, details, of course, very sketchy at this early stage. It's just within the last few minutes that social media reports started to emerge about an explosion on a metro station in St. Petersburg. It's now being reported by the Russian state media, the TASS news agency, that an explosion has hit a metro station in the center of St. Petersburg. Emergency services, according to state media, are on the scene, and there are casualties reported. Now, there are stills photographs and video that's been circulated on the internet showing some very violent scenes, some scenes of bloodshed, and some scenes of the station, which has been described as, or named as, Sanaya Square, which is right in the center of St. Petersburg, engulfed in smoke. As I say, the platform, the corridors around this area. There's also stills pictures rather, of a train with what appear to be its doors blown off, and the splattering of blood marks around, along with a few apparent casualties on the floor, on the platform. Beyond that, we don't have any information. It's still not been confirmed to us by the Emergency Situations Ministry, that normally take the lead in situations like this, about what the circumstances are. But we are getting plenty of reports on Russian state media. Let me just repeat them to you. An explosion has hit a metro station in the center of St. Petersburg. Emergency services are at the scene, or at least on their way to the scene. And it is being reported by Russian state media that there are casualties. That's been accompanied by stills photograph and video that's been posted online, showing these very chaotic and traumatic scenes in what state media has named as Sanaya Square metro station, which, as I say, Christy, is right in the center of the Russian city of St. Petersburg.
Это типа техноложка горит. Писать невозможно, реально. Восстание уже перекрыто. Восстание перекрыто, перекрывают. Восстание перекрыто, перекрывают техноложку.
On the metro in St. Petersburg, that's Russia's second city. Now, this happened at around 2:30 in the afternoon. The carriage, we understand, has been very badly damaged. We've seen pictures of one mangled carriage. We've also seen pictures of a number of casualties. Some people, obviously, from those pictures, very seriously injured. The number of people caught up in this hasn't yet been confirmed, but the metro in St. Petersburg has said officially that they believe there was an explosion on a metro carriage and that it was some kind of unidentified device. So at the moment, fairly minimal information, but certainly a very serious incident. And we've seen pictures of multiple fire engines rushing to the scene. There's ambulances, of course, at the scene too. A lot of people filming on their mobile phones as they were walking through very smoky corridors in the underground service there in St. Petersburg. Most people walking fairly calmly and quietly, perhaps not knowing what had happened and thinking, I think, at one point that there was simply a fire on the underground. But as I say, it has been confirmed that this was an explosion, but exactly what caused that hasn't yet been established.
Obviously, Sarah, there are going to be fears that this was deliberate. There are a lot of ambulances at the scene and security, I imagine, too.
Well, that's right. Very quickly after this happened, there were, of course, all the emergency services on the scene. As you say, first of all, trying to deal with the casualties. We don't know how many people have been injured or possibly killed. We have seen one source quoting a minimum of 10 casualties. But as I say, nothing official on that at the moment. As to the cause of it, again, it's not clear. I could say one additional piece of information is that President Putin is in St. Petersburg today. I don't know if this was in some way timed because of his presence there. Certainly he's not in the city centre. He's out at his residence holding a meeting with the president of Belarus and other meetings there. But he is in St. Petersburg today. But as you say, we're not sure yet whether this was a deliberate attack. At the moment, we simply know that there was an explosion and that there are casualties.
Сейчас станцию эвакуировать будут по-любому.
Подъем, товарищи, давайте.
Отлично. Станцию эвакуируют, в общем.
Just want to bring you some breaking news reaching us from Russia. It's been reported in local media that a blast has taken place in the St Petersburg metro. Life News, a local news organisation, has published a picture of a metro carriage door blown out. We also have, from a number of local media sources, reports of casualties. Life also publishing a picture of injured people lying on the platform. Certainly no indication as to the cause, no indication as to whether or not those casualties have led to any fatalities, but what we are being told is that a number of metro stations have been closed for the time being.
Okay, we will try and bring you more on that as that story does develop and we get more news on that news on potential explosion at St. Petersburg. Well, another